Hi, hi, hi. Happy Healthy Women and happy Tuesday. Uh, you may or may not know me, but I'm Natalie Colalilo, founder and CEO of Happy Healthy Women. And I am joined by one of my loves and such an incredible person to be around. So if you are chiming in today, stay with us because she has so much great information to share. Andra Wochesen is a energetic business and income expansion coach. She has coached me personally. She has coached so many of us in Happy Healthy Women. She is literally changing lives by helping women step up and into their power. And I'm so excited to be here with you today, Andra. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much. And thank you for such a lovely introduction. Yeah, I will receive that because we're talking about expanding container to receive. So
Yeah,
thank you so much. And yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here and to connect with you. Always, always.
I love it. So for those of you who've met Andra before, you know that she is a trailblazer in our Toronto. I don't know why I'm finding it hard to find words today. Toronto West branch. And she, as I said, does incredible things. So today we are talking about expanding your capacity to receive. So Andra, why don't you share a little bit about yourself, whatever I haven't shared, and let's launch into this conversation because it's really a good one to talk about.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I mean, I think, yeah, it's such a big one. I mean, the work I do with entrepreneurs really is to help them expand their income, expand their presence, expand their visibility, expand their impact, right? All of these things. And all of that is great. But a big piece of the puzzle really is this ability where I see so much of this expertise that's out there, this ability to give, this ability to share and to serve. And it's amazing. And so we don't want to, that's a big piece of the equation. And then the other piece of the equation that is not often as focused on or usually as strong for people is really the receiving and the owning of the gifts. So that's part of like receiving in terms of recognition, receiving
Mhm.
in terms of the value that you're bringing, and then of course receiving money and opportunities and clients and all of the things that we do want to have into our experience. And so very often it just something I see. There's a lot of I try to talk on different topics because there's so many things that are interwoven into this ability to receive, right? Or to elevate or to break through our income ceiling or to break through any kind of ceiling that we have. And yeah, today I'm choosing to speak about our capacity to receive our yeah, not even so much the containers. I'll talk a little bit about the containers, but it's really about our capacity to receive and how it's such a vital part of the equation.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? You're speaking to the right audience here because I feel like as women entrepreneurs, we are so sort of like conditioned to serve, right? And really, like as you said, give. And sometimes it comes at a cost to receiving ourselves, right? I just created an affirmation that says, I'm generous to myself and others, right? Like
Mm.
knowing that it has to come to us. So talk to me about how women sort of like what are some signs that women are sitting in a place of um, not being expanded in terms of their income, yeah,
Yeah, and in
and their
terms of
ability.
receive, sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
to receive. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
well, I mean, there's the obvious, right? You can look like, do I have clients? Am I bringing in money? Am I, right? There's all of these ways in which, I mean, you can really look at the balance of energy exchange, right? How much am I putting out there? How much am I investing in myself? How much am I doing to create my product or my service or my building this framework for my team or whatever, avenue you're in, and how much am I allowing to come back into my experience, right? And so how much and so it in a way it's a very simple equation if you want to look at it from a sort of outside perspective, which is often a really good place to start, right? Because the outside is a reflection of what's happening within us. And so that's the first key, right? It's like, do I feel like I'm giving a whole heck of a lot and I'm not actually receiving a lot in terms of money and clients and all the things that you're wanting to have in a business, right? And so that's the first step, I think, just to acknowledge it. Not, it's never about judging or it's just observation, right? It's this way that we can actually put our business owner hat on. I mean, you can look at it as input, output, expenses, income, you know, you look at, but, and I'm just going to like frame it with the receive and give, right? It's just really the same equation, but we'll just talk about it a little bit more from the energetic perspective. But that outside reflection is a really good place for you to start, right? And so that's the outside, what it looks like. Do I have enough money coming in? Do I have enough clients coming in? Do I have opportunities coming in? Am I receiving praise, acknowledgement for the work that I'm doing, the gifts that I'm giving? And then you're going to look at the external, but then you're also going to notice for yourself, do I feel full, right? And so if I'm just in a giving cycle and I'm not in a receiving cycle, that's actually not going to feel full within me, right? That's actually going to feel depleting. It's going to feel less than, it's going to feel lackey. It's going to feel, I'll give you a bunch of names for it, but it's not going to feel great, right? It's going to feel like I'm overextending, I'm over giving, I'm over something, and I'm under receiving, right? And so on some level, it's just not going to feel good because our soul, we're not designed that way. We're actually not designed to live in lack. We are designed to share our gifts and to give those, yes. And we are also designed to receive. And so again, it's just, you'll look at it from the external, and then you'll also be like, this doesn't feel like, there's many ways to look at it. This feels crappy. This feels exhausting, right? We all internalize things in different ways, and it shows up for us in different ways. So I think the first thing is just to have the awareness with a compassionate, non-judgmental, curious eye. I think that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. That awareness is huge, right? And as you said, tapping into how you're feeling. Are you feeling depleted? Like, you know, I know that a lot of women entrepreneurs can relate to this. Like, I'm working so hard, yet there's still no money in my bank account, or I'm still, you know, just getting by paycheck to paycheck, or I'm waiting for that next client. So I can totally see, you know, how women can so step into this and be fully aware. So that's great. So awareness is the first step. And then what are, like, talk to us about how we start to create that expansion in receiving. Like, what are a few ways that we can start to do that?
So I'm going to start with a simple, because it's not that simple, but it's going to sound simple when I say it. And I hope that people will take this in for the depth that it is, actually, not just this little suggestion, but really it's noticing how well you receive right now, right? Because you're receiving something. And so often we're like looking, I mean, when we're looking for what we don't have, we're going to see more of what we don't have, right? So that's not really a great place to start. So it's a really good place to start with what you actually are receiving, and just noticing how well do you receive it, right? And so that could be compliments, it could be praise, it could be acknowledgement, it could be money, it could be opportunities, right? And so there are things that are flowing into your account. So first of all, are you notice, or your account, your, did I say your bank account, your self account, some kind of account, right? So yeah, so there's something that's coming in. So first of all, are you noticing it, right? Really, it's like that $25 sale, right? Our ego will be like, that's not what I wanted. I want to reach 5 grand, 10 grand this month. That's nothing, right? So first of all, just noticing if you're blowing off any receiving that is actually coming to you. Notice if someone compliments you and you feel right away the need to either throw it right back at them, or if you feel like just a sort of slight, oh, thanks, right? Or like this kind of stuff, right? Right? Or a diminishing of yourself. And it's really, right, how well, just noticing these things, again, without judgment. Or it's like the money. So yeah, first of all, are you deflecting it? Are you noticing it, number one? Number two, are you deflecting it in any way? And that can look like, just sending it back to the person, just not really allowing it into you. What else? Well, just not really receiving it, right? It's the not noticing it, not or pushing it back. And then the third piece is really how much are you actually allowing it into your experience. So not talking about gratitude or manifestation or success. I always talk about all those things. So those are all great, right? So you can be grateful for the stuff that's coming to you. You can celebrate the stuff that's coming to you for success-wise. You can notice the manifestations of, like, I've been asking for income and I got this $25, so that's income, even though it's not what I want. So those are all great. I'm not going to say external strategies because they're kind of internal, but they're a little outside of yourself. What I really want people to connect with is how are you actually taking it in to your system, right? Because all of this is about embodiment, right? We can know a crap load of stuff and have tools and techniques, but that doesn't change our reality, right? We actually have to be the embodiment of what it is that we want to call in. So we actually have to start by expanding our own physical, energetic, spiritual, mental container for us to allow for receiving to come, right? Because we get what we can take in, right? And so if we're kind of deflecting stuff, we're not really taking it in, we're going to be given a certain amount, right? So it's really about practicing. So when you receive the compliment, can you just take a moment to breathe, let yourself feel it, right? Just instead of already being like into, oh yeah, great, and blah, whatever it is, right? Or it's like, oh, I received an e-transfer. Can I just take that in and yes, gratitude it, but also I thank the person, right? But also, yeah, I just took in $2,000, $25, doesn't matter what it is, before I then get into, okay, now what, right? And so all of it, right, we just don't do it. And it's so, yeah, I'm all about embodiment. And so it's like, if you can't, it's not mental. We don't manifest, we don't create flow from here. So,
Yeah.
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 So it's
No,
practice, right?
yeah, for sure. For sure it's practice. It's a muscle, right? And like we are changing. And so this leads to my next question, because obviously there's stuff like thought patterns and feeling patterns that are there and have been there for years, right? And part of the work that you do, Andra, I know, is that you help people sort of like dismantle those beliefs and those thought patterns, and open up to receive, correct? Like how much of an impact is that having, or is it just not worth like looking at and just sort of moving forward, right? I've heard both theories, but you tell me.
I mean, I guess maybe I'm in the middle of the road. I feel like you can't just paste something positive on top of something unsolid foundation. I think you need to be
Yeah.
congruent. I don't think you need to wallow. I don't think you need to analyze, right? That's why that's not the work I do, right? It's kind of like, let's actually figure this out, or uncover it, make it conscious, and move through it, right? Because you actually, yeah, to me, I think you have to move through it. It's not going anywhere, right? You don't have to dwell on it. You don't have to spend 24 hours a day on it. But yeah, to me, I was just saying this to a client this morning. It's not about quantity of time. It's about making it important. It's making these experiences that you've had that you haven't acknowledged, that have impacted you, important enough to take a few minutes, right? A couple of days, whatever it is, to be able to move through this so that you can then be building on a solid foundation. So that's my take on it. Yeah, move forward. I want people to move forward, but it's also about acknowledging and giving space. And that, again, you can't pack in more stuff if you haven't, right? If we want to receive more, if there's a whole bunch of crap in there and it's in there, I keep doing this always, as you know, because it's not just this in here, it's like in our cells, in our nervous system, in our body. It's all in us, and it's like we're maxed up, right? Sometimes.
Right.
And so we actually
Yeah.
just need to get it out so that we can have space for more to come in. So yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. And as you're speaking, I'm thinking it's kind of like doing a workout and being really sweaty and then just like spraying on some perfume after,
Yes.
instead of taking
Yeah.
a shower, right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
there is a certain element that we need to cleanse away in
Yeah.
order to feel right. Yeah.
Love it.
That's great. That's great. So Andra, talk to me about, I mean, what else did you want to share on this piece? Like, what are some other key components of being open to receive?
So first of all, I would say you're allowed to have whatever you want. So just notice, right? Honor your desires. Your desires are legitimate. You wouldn't have them if they weren't meant to be called into your experience. So don't blow them off, right? So I think that's number one. Be in a space of non-attachment to the how and the exact way that it's going to come to you. That is what holds people back so often, right? We want to have that clarity. We want to call it in. And then we also want to let go and not be like, it has to come this way and it has to come at this time and it has to look like this, because you are limiting the flow. You're limiting the opportunities and the ways in which you actually can receive what it is that you want. So I think that's a really big one. We're all control freaks. And then the third thing, I'm just trying to keep this short for the sake of time, but also include what it is that you want in your bubble. So what a lot of us will do is, like, my life is here, this is what's going on in my life, and the stuff I want is out here, right? It's like a separate kind of thing. And I'm always reaching for it, and I'm trying to get it, right? And so you're making it separate from you, when if you can almost envision all of, like, I don't know if you can see, I'm drawing a big arm circle here. So all of those things that you feel are outside of yourself, can you include them in your bubble as though they're already there? And it's more than just, again, fake it till you make it, or it's not that kind of stuff, right? It's actually allow it to be a part of your experience. It's like allow it to be integrated within you. Interact with it, right? So if it's in your, you interact in your daily life now, and in your life, your relationships, your business, all of that. So just allow this next income level, this I don't know, impact level, whatever it is, to be a part of this and interact with it. Allow it to be a part of your container so that it's already in there, right? So that you can actually allow that flow to come in. So yeah, I mean, there's so many things I can say, but I'm just trying to keep it as short as possible. But oh, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I keep muting myself
Okay.
because Ellen just keeps having a bark fest over here.
Yeah.
But we have some time. I mean, if there are more valuable tips that you want to share, because this is so valuable, and I think that women can so see themselves like needing this work in their lives. And then, obviously, we want to hear about how you work with people, and if you have any things coming up that we should, be aware of, that we can maybe plug into for ourselves. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. I think it's about, let me see, what else do I, well, so first of all, movement and all of that release. So a lot of the stuff I do is body stuff or tapping or energy techniques. All of that's fantastic. But such an easy thing for you to do is to move energy, right? So there's so many efficient ways. I just want to speak to that. Like, I'm so about, like, you got to do this inner stuff. And it also doesn't have to take 6 hours of your morning, right? So, I mean, it can, it's whatever you like, but it's just, to me, it's like about making it important. So it can be 3 minutes, right? Or whatever it is, but it's about, yeah, doing something. So movement is just a way for you to move stuck energy, right? So that you can allow yourself to have more in. So I think that's a really important piece around, yeah, it's like we want a bigger container. So we can become bigger, we can expand ourselves, expand our presence, expand our energy, but we also have to clear space to allow more to come into us. And so movement is a really great way to do that. Let's see what else. I think it's also just notice what comes up for you. So I've talked about this in various different places. Is it like, what is it for you, right? Because we're all different. So is it, what am I allowed to have? So the word allowed can be really strong for people. Deserve can be a word that people use, deserving and worthy. Not everybody uses that though, right? So a lot of people will be like, yeah, I'm deserving and worthy, but am I allowed to have this? Am I allowed to want this? So those are very triggering words for people. And so I would just invite you to look at what comes up for you. So if you were to say, I want more money, right? What comes, like, does that feel like, great, amazing, perfect, 100%? Or does it feel like some stuff that's like, I'm not sure, right, in your body? Or I'm allowed to have a multiple 6-figure business and a happy relationship and to travel and to have this, right? And so again, just noticing what comes up for you. And then often there's like, I don't know how to do it, right? So like, am I capable of doing this, right? And so I think it's just making this very unique to you, right? Just to take the moment. So all the things I talked about, just make this personal for you, right? And how it actually shows up for you. And then also be open to noticing the blind spots. I'm all about that lately, even within myself, just noticing how the stuff that you don't know. Be open to, like, maybe this isn't me. I don't have a worthy and deserving problem, right? Everybody will say that, but maybe do you have a little bit of it, right? Like, it's just about opening the door to maybe that's a possibility or something, right? So I
Yeah,
think,
for sure.
yeah. So yeah, and I think, yeah, I mean, I'll just share this super quick. Like, I just had this experience of it recently, and I always like to share that. So I did a 4-day event. I put a ton into it. It was a great value. It was in my Facebook group. It was, yeah, on the borderline of overgiving, which I'm always working on for myself. But it was solid. It was good. It was great. And I could feel it was a lot of output. I got lots back in, but I knew I was having a hard time. I didn't feel right energetically with it. I was like, oh, I think I gave too much. And is this, am I being smart about this? And, other people say you shouldn't give so much and the people will pay to work with you, all that kind of stuff. So I had all of that dialogue. And so I did some work for myself in the Akashics because I do that. And so what the message I got was, it was like this tube of, like, I was sending out this energy in a very specific way. And it was almost like a plumbing tube, and it was kind of coming back to me. And it was almost like the intensity of which I was giving, and then it coming back to me, I almost couldn't take it into my, it almost felt like a fire hose. And I almost felt like I couldn't quite energetically handle it. And so the message I got was just to start receive. It's probably why I'm sharing this, to start receiving. And it was almost like expand that tube to like my whole body. And it's like I'm giving in a bigger way, and then I'm also receiving in a bigger and more diffuse way, if that makes sense. But it felt much more comfortable for my system to be able to take that in. So I was actually blocking it before, right? But when I allowed myself to just receive the compliments that people were sending, or the transformations that people had, or the consults that were being booked, or the new client that I got, it kind of separated it all and allowed myself to receive it. It was like, okay. And so I just give that as an example from my own experience, but it's just this way. And I had to go deep to uncover what was actually happening for me, right? And that's why it's so powerful, right, to have these insights, because they're life-changing, right? It really is. And you're not going to get that from your head, right? You're going to have to go deep to get that you're actually blocking your flow, right?
Totally, totally. And having someone coach you through it is so essential, I think, right? And also to know that it's a journey. Like I was hearing someone this morning speak about how like we're all on journeys, and it's not like, okay, we coach and then we like all these problems are fixed and then we're, you know, multimillionaires, right? We're on journeys, and each time we work at this, we're opening it and we're expanding it more and we're allowing more in. And that is how magic happens, right? And so I think that the work that you're doing is incredible. So do you want to just share quickly how you work with people? Is it one-to-one? Is it through groups? What are you doing more of these days, and how can people find you? And I'll put your website up here.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So, as per usual, my focus is still really on the one-on-one. And so, and it's really, I think there may be a group program coming in the spring. So and I've said this many times before. So, but it's also about owning the truth for me and how I work for people. And so I tend to like to really hold a really deep space and work with not a lot of people. And so that really is my current model. And I do have a couple of spots open. I can't take that many people. I mean, I can, but I choose not to. I choose to hold the space for the people that I have in my containers. And so if it's speaking to you, I would love to have a conversation. To me, it's just about having a conversation. You can book a money blueprint analysis session that is on the first page of my website. And it's just a 60-minute session where we can dive in and really see if this work is right for you, right? Because if it's not, this is powerful work, and it's not for everybody, right? It just depends on where you are, how ready you are to move through this. If this is actually what you need, you might need a strategic coach and a social media planner, and that's just not my thing, right? And so it's really good for us to have a conversation to see, it's if you want to heal some of these sort of core wounds and these things and open that capacity to receive, I'd love to have a conversation with you. So that's my offering at the moment. And I do have a couple of, I generally work with people for 4 months in a 4-month container, but I do have a few spots for sort of more breakthrough coaching, which is a smaller, it's a smaller container, right? So if you're like, I don't really want to do a whole thing, but I actually feel like I'm stuck or blocked in some ways, then we can talk about that as well.
Awesome. And it's awakenyourinspiration.com. And unfortunately, I'm not finding my little crawler that usually I have here. So I put it in your name here, and it's a little bit cut off, but it's awakenyourinspiration.com for those of you who are watching and want to hear more from Andra. Andra, you also have a really fantastic Facebook group. What's the name of the Facebook group so that people can join that?
Yeah, it's called Prosper Through Your Purpose.
Prosper Through Your Purpose. Yeah. So guys, definitely touch base with Andra. She is incredible. Take it from me and so many others who have coached with this amazing woman. Andra, I want to thank you so much for being part of this community, being a trailblazer, a leader in our branch, and for everything that you do. You are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And again, as always, thank you for the space you hold for all of us, right? You really do hold this space for each of us to step and grow and expand into who we are and be more of who we are, and then allow, kind of be the guiding light for those behind us. So really it starts from the top. And so I just really want to reflect that back and maybe have you receive that in this moment.
Yes, since we're talking. Thank you. I am receiving that, and it's fully within me. I appreciate that so much. So yes, thank you guys. Thanks for watching. And if you're looking to step into your leadership as Andra has with us, please do touch base with us or go to hhwglobal.com to find more information on that. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Andra. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Okay,
Take care.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you.